am. Hi, hello, Meg. Oh, it's so good to see you.
Always so good to see you, Carolyn. Happy holidays, my friend.
I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for doing this in the middle of everything, and you already have your Christmas stuff up.
Well, I always love talking to you for sure. And I think that this amazing author is going to be incredibly special because this is my birthday week. So
I know.
I always say I want to bring the energy of manifesting with me. So happy to have you here. Welcome, everybody. Valerie, thank you for joining us. And let's get the show started. This is episode number 23 of Amazing Authors. Today I have amazing author Carolyn Arnold, who is the author of 50 First Dates After 50, a wonderful, wonderful book about manifesting. And as all of you know, this show really isn't about the books. It's more about an empty room waiting for that story to happen. And yes, you are the author. The story is you, Carolyn, today. So let's get to it. This obviously is a wonderful opportunity for me because this woman is magical, inspirational, and the above. It's been an amazing adventure going through my own book journey with her, and definitely love the fact that we had our manifesting with Meg last year around November, and now her year has been up, and we get to talk about how the journey's been so far on Amazing Authors. So
it's so great to share both the beginning and the middle and everything with you, Meg.
I know. It's so because, it's a whole process. I mean, life is a process. We trust the process or we don't. Usually when we trust the process, we get happy. And we don't, we're like battling through and just like, I don't know. But it's just, it's so wonderful to see the magical connections who you meet along the way. And certainly you are one.
Yeah, same here.
It's been a wonderful experience. And, highs and lows, ups and downs, but all along the way, it's the people that you meet, I do believe, that makes this journey even more exciting and
definitely
fun. So without further ado, I want to introduce all of the audience to the who behind the Carolyn Arnold and her debut memoir, 50 First Dates After 50, a multiple award winner. She last has received 2022 Zibby Awards for Best First Line, Best Dedication, and Best Table of Contents. Living Now Book Awards in 2022, Gold Medal in Relationships and Marriage. This woman is a dynamo in and of herself, but the awards speak also to that as well, and certainly capture. The fact is that she's very inspirational and wants to basically inspire others to step out of their comfort zone. And as Valerie Taylor said, yes, there is no end. There's a journey. It's always standing at the precipice, looking further along to see where you're going next, and get curious and excited about who joins you along the way. So I love to have this conversation with you today, a bit about you. You're a writer, hiker, former educational researcher, and personal growth workshop assistant. And like I said, the author of the award-winning 50 First Dates After 50. Exciting. Your book has received 12 awards at the time of your bio. I think you've gotten more at this point in time in the area of relationships, sexuality, and women's issues, and for being inspirational, uplifting, and motivational. My favorite thing. Welcome everybody to this wonderful interview. Furthermore, you're now writing your second novel, your second memoir. I think that's pretty phenomenal because I don't know if I have another one in me, so kudos to you for sure. But it's about the 18 years identifying as a lesbian feminist, which is fascinating because right now you're in a relationship with a gentleman. So this is really going to be really intriguing. I think that, I love how nobody's really fixed anybody and I say no, put them in the box. Don't put anyone in the box. They're all discovering themselves as we go. Right. But you're still a feminist. You live in San Francisco and with your male partner, one of her 50 dates. She blogs about dating and life and offers dating tips, dating resources. And you can get her book at Carolyn, Carolyn, Lee, Arnold, ARNOLD.com. You can sign up for her blog and here we go. Did I miss anything, Carolyn?
No, you got it all. Thanks, Meg.
I wanted to say you're one of my favorite authors, and certainly, I always like to say that if I learn something that opens my mind to a different perspective in this world, it's very good. Because, we've walked through this path and, I love the idea that I bring what I do bring to the table. But I think it's even better when you get exposed to other people and certainly with the highest good in mind. And certainly you are one of those people. But I was a little surprised after your book. It wasn't necessarily something that I was expecting, but it was really, really good, as these awards speak to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read a little bit about, like, a little bio synopsis. Thank you so much. I'm honored to have you here at the end of November, month of gratitude. I'm grateful. There you go. So, what does a free-spirited 50-something researcher do when she breaks up with her non-committal Buddhist boyfriend and longs for a life partner? She holds a letting go ceremony with the boyfriend, challenges herself to go on 50 dates, takes a few lovers, and voila. Finding Mr. Right becomes a sexy dating research project, navigating the highs and lows of dating within the Bay Area world of personal growth workshops and spiritual ceremonies. Carolyn transforms the universal quest for love into a sensual adventure. Amen, sister. And as she searches for a man who matches her spirit, another amen to you. That's upbeat memoir celebrates an older woman's sexuality and offers a positive view of dating as an enjoyable journey of self-discovery and self-love. Okay. If this is not women empowerment, I don't. Okay. I think.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, why did you decide to write this book in the very beginning?
Well, as you can see, as you heard from the synopsis, the book is about going on a dating. I created a dating project because I really wanted a life partner. I'd never had a long-term partner. And so I developed this project for myself of a goal of 50 dates, 50 first dates, to try to see who I could find out there. And I had, the amazing thing is I had fun dating. I had a lot of fun dating. And I also found my guy after 2.5 years of looking. And so I wanted to share that story because so many stories about dating are depressing or discouraging or sarcastic or just sad. And I wanted to share that it's possible to enjoy dating, not and find the guy, but that's kind of like a bonus. The actual fun part was the journey of what I learned about myself and what I needed. I mean, somewhere near the end, when I hadn't found my partner, I was thinking, I can do this forever. This isn't my life. This is dating is a way of life, and this is my life. And it was fun, and I was enjoying it. So I wanted to share that enjoyment and hope that you can find someone if you don't settle for someone.
Well, yeah.
So yeah.
You're a researcher at heart.
Yeah, that helped. I mean,
having known you, this is not a surprising statement, right? I mean, I think at a point in time, I love the fact that you're clearly authentic to yourself where you say, I wanted to have fun. And, sometimes people are like, oh God, I mean, if I have to meet another person that, tells me how wonderful they are and that. And you tell the honest to God truth in your book as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Because I want to say that it wasn't that every date was fun. I had the same ups and downs that everybody else has dating. Oh, this guy doesn't like me, or I'll never find him, or this is, why am I doing this? Why am I going to this party when I could be with my friends? And so I had all that. But when I was going through it, I was enjoying it. And it wasn't until I wrote it all down and read it all, and I thought, this is not a happy story all the way. I cried a lot. I had to take out some crying scenes because I was crying a lot during it. Because, but what I thought, well, why did I think it was so fun? And it was because I took good care of myself. I took good care of myself, and I set up the structures that made it possible for me to keep going and also get support when I needed it. And it's that persistence, and having the goal really helped because I didn't take any one date that seriously. I took each date seriously, but I knew that there would be more. So if I didn't like them or they didn't like me, it wasn't such a big deal. So that helped.
I think it's great, this question Valerie is setting out. You share your awesome story, which happened on the West Coast. Do you think you could have done in another part of the country? I mean, if we're talking country, maybe the East Coast.
I know.
You think about that? That's a great question.
Well, I think that there's certain cities in the United States that are more open-minded, let's say, and have more communities that are open to personal growth and spirituality and things like that, or we find them if we don't have them in our cities. So there are pockets. Let's put it that way. And I did want to say the book is it's really 3 things in one. I think it's a book full of great dating tips, like how to approach dating, a research project. Don't take have a goal. Don't take each date so seriously. Keep going. Get support from your friends. Take good care of yourself. But it's also an expression of it's also a little glimpse at the new age culture of personal growth workshops and spiritual ceremonies. If people aren't familiar with that, I tried to be very descriptive of that. But then the other thing that I'm proud of is that I was open about my sexuality. I was a woman who'd been sexual into my 50s, and I was determined to stay sexual as I was dating. And it's not for everybody. But there are a lot of women who are, and I wanted to validate those women and celebrate our older women's sexuality. So it's really 3 books in one in that way.
I wanted to, by the way, congratulations. It's been your year, over your year now. So you're coming to the end. And I think one of the really cool things about putting your memoir, significantly your memoir, out there into the world is that the vulnerability of sharing your story, and then on the side of all those fears, you now know what has happened. You now know what's unfolded. So tell me a little bit about your favorite moments, not just creating the masterpiece, but at the other end, this last year. Like how, looking back now, you're like, okay, wow, that would never happened if I didn't put this book.
Oh my gosh, so much never would have happened. But I'll just focus on a few. But doing podcasts and IG lives like this and talking to women I don't know about my book and having them just discuss it, which has been so fun. And a way I benefited from being there in the pandemic because it was all on Zoom and it was just natural to have these great recorded conversations, which I can now replay. So that was fantastic. The other thing was discovering my She Writes Press sisters, all of a sudden realizing that I was in a cohort of 80 women, that we were all publishing our books the same year, and knowing that I could get support there. That was an incredible rush. And then what I'm really having fun doing right now is now I have Facebook ads going about my book, seasonal ones, and people respond to my Facebook ads. They comment on them. And I'm having little conversations with people on Facebook who respond either positively or negatively to my book. And it's been very fun.
Were you super savvy on social media before this whole thing unfolded?
No, I was not on Instagram. I was on Facebook personal. And I like that, posting pictures, posts. So I was used to that. That was the basic. But I didn't have a website and I didn't have an Instagram. And so I actually decided to focus on Facebook and Instagram and my website. And I've had a big growth curve, but I've loved it. Those are the advice that everyone gives is only do what you like to do. Don't try to do everything. Just do the things you like to do. And so I did.
Well, I think that's great. One of the things that you did do was you spearheaded the cohort, the separate cohort group of the 2021 authors, which I think was a real opportunity for a lot of people to get to know each other on a different level. I mean, that, what gave you the impetus to say, okay, this is a great idea. Let's do this.
Well, it was my own need. I was feeling, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to market my book. I don't know how to get through this publishing process. And I had a year to go. I was on the tail end. It was in November. And we got together a year before we became a cohort. And so I contacted Melissa and said, because we had the same pub date, and said, how can we connect people? How can we, I contacted a few people. She responded. And then she just made the Facebook group. And then all of a sudden we had a forum. And then all of a sudden, my former job was as coordinator. I'm used to coordinating. So I said, let's do this every month. And so it took off. And I'm just so grateful that everyone wanted to do that too, because I needed it. Basically, I did it because I needed it. And people like you came in and just shined, blessed our group with these incredible blessings and all the podcasts you've been doing for people. And you kind of lifted us up, and we had all these positive, you as one of the shining stars, and a few other very positive people really helped our group, I think, get through the year. Because publishing, people might not realize that writing is one thing, and that's a whole journey. And I just want to say about that, keep going, just write, make sure you have a way to keep writing, find support. It's the same as dating, really. Get support, get your structure going, get your friends lined up, get your writing colleagues lined up. But then there's marketing. Then there's the book. Then it's the year and a half and forevermore, marketing and publicizing your book, which is you have to turn from an introvert to an extrovert, which I luckily love doing, but it was a big learning curve.
Well, Linda Fader's on here saying so grateful for you, Carolyn. I'll thank you. Cohort heroes. And I'll say one of the things that you are, and to your point, I've always believed in the collaboration. I think that there is so much power in the more than one, right? And I think that even more so, not my book's not for everyone. Your book's not for everyone, but
right.
but when I know someone might be benefited by yours, we become the mouthpiece for the other. And I think
Yes.
that in and of itself is an incredible generosity wheel that we get on, because at the end of the day, I'm telling you, there's so much, like, I would be cheering you on, you'd be cheering me on.
Yeah.
Whenever there's an opportunity to celebrate, you had that chance, you took it, because you're celebrating each other, and we all know what it takes. Back to your journey, what are the hopes and dreams for your continued journey now? You have a memoir coming out soon again, or is it
it's not so soon. I'm still grappling with it. The dating book was much easier to write, even though took me 10 years to write it. It still was very clear what the story was. The lesbian story is I'm grappling with, but I do have a deadline of a manuscript, turning it in on January 6th. So I'm going along, but I'm not quite sure of the pub date yet.
Wow.
What I'm realizing, what I found out this year was that there's a group of women, mostly women and some men, who respond to my book very positively, and they feel like it saved their dating life, or gave them did what I wanted it to do, which is inspire their dating life, and that's so gratifying. There's other people who react quite negatively to it because of the sexuality, and it's a little shocking to people. They're not used to that openness, and I purposely wanted to be open to celebrate that aspect of ourselves. But I took a risk by doing that because it turned off a lot of people. So it's finding the right people. There's a big pocket of people who love my book, and I want to find those people, and I want to keep finding them people. So I'm just doing various ways of reaching out. So I'm going to keep doing that, because I feel that luckily the book doesn't, like yours, it's an evergreen book. It's the subject of dating, or your subject of recovering from grief and empowering yourself. It keeps, people keep needing it. So I feel like I can.
I absolutely agree with you. And I do believe what you're saying. And like, it sounds to me is like you find your audience. They find you.
Yeah.
And that goes for everything. Like my friend here from Coaching for Life Goals, the bottom line is that we have an ability to guide others by verbal, speaking, by authorship, by coaching, that if we put ourselves out there, like you did with 51st Dates After 50, your audience then has a chance to find you and to celebrate sexuality with you, because it's not a bad thing. But you know what? Some people never heard it the way you put it out there. So the first time they hear it, maybe it's like a little shocking, and then after a while it becomes okay. The conversation starts, and when the conversation starts, it doesn't become dirty or anything bad. It just becomes an offering. Maybe this is something you might want to think about. Maybe it's something that you don't want to think about. You didn't know that you didn't want to think about. But the bottom line is, when we have more good books out there that set out these topics like you did, then the opportunity to have the conversation is there. So bravo to you for that. But
Thank you.
I love this question, because I always like to say, give me some takeaways. Give me something that, that you like hold dear from your launch, that may be positive or negative or whatever. So tell me what you think. What were 3 takeaways from the launch writing, or thinking about, writing, that someone out there who might be listening to this can, okay, maybe that's the switch. Maybe that's the awareness here.
Well, I want to say some takeaways for writing. The writing is, I can't emphasize enough, if you want to write something, start now. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. For yourself, for your family, for everybody in the world, just do it. And then just be sure to set up structures for yourself to keep going, because you're going to get discouraged, like dating. You need a structure. Whether it's writing every day, or a writing group, or a class. I took classes with deadlines. That's what got me through the whole writing book. And so set that up for yourself, and just know that there's stuff you're going to have to say no to. But the big question for me while I was writing is, what are you going to say no to get this book done? And that's huge. Launching, there's so much. It's hard to say one thing, but one is, I think the best thing is, make sure you're in a community of writers. Get yourself in a community of writers before you finish the book, either in classes or writing retreats or conferences, or if you're lucky, your publishing house is a big group of women who will support you to launch, because there's so many aspects of publishing. And so that was the big thing for me, to have that supportive group to ask any questions about that I could about, how do you prepare for a podcast? How do you do a Facebook ad? How do you do this and that? And so that's the main thing. Support.
Have you been out there in person? I mean, I know that we went to the LA Book Festival together. That was one.
Yeah.
We had ours. But have you been speaking, or is there any opportunities that you're having coming up that for speaking on your book, or sharing the story behind the story?
No, I am now switching. I have not done that because since we launched in an era of no contact, I missed the chance to do my book launch in that. I had a great book launch on Zoom, though. I thought it was better because more people could come. But no, I have not. I do not have speaking things lined up, and I'm just shifting, and I'm hoping to get inspiration from the conference we're both going to next week to figure out how to do that. So
we're all, as far as, pushing the envelope, Carolyn, that's what Linda's saying, brave exploration of sexuality. But at this moment, we're putting it out there. We're putting
right here. Yeah, right.
Engagements, because this will be probably a good opportunity for you to, be present one-on-one.
Yes.
That energy with others. So I'm putting it out there with you, my friend.
Thank you. I'm also making plans to start my audiobook in February. Start recording it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Which I think is, I think like something that everyone needs to have as far as, a companion piece, because people do listen a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Thanks for asking.
I will say 10 years is a very long time to write a book. I know that. But congratulations on pursuing, the dream, persisting on the path. Keep going on your journey. Certainly, things pop up, but you put your head down, you're there, and now you're on the other end of that, which is super amazing. What I wanted to ask you, like, has there been an experience that you've had that you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened? Like, it's a little shocking, surprising, kind of funny, maybe something to that respect?
Well, I mean, every time, I just think every time I go on a podcast, I feel so validated because the hosts are so supportive. One of the podcasts I was on was, So I Married a Sexologist. Oh. It was a sex therapist and her husband and they were very funny, and they're very supportive, and she's going to give my book to her clients because she does counseling. But the most gratifying thing, so that was wonderful. I get so uplifted by that and feeling like I am reaching the right people at that time. And then someone this doesn't often happen, but in the recording on Instagram, someone wrote a comment later that said, I'm so inspired by this podcast. I'm getting your book. This is just what I need. And just getting those little lifts from people, because people are out there buying my book, but I don't often get that feedback back. So
it's wonderful. It keeps you going. And I always say, and little, sparks into the momentum, keeps the car going. You got to fill the tank occasionally, for sure. They're saying here, are you narrating your own audiobook?
I am. I hope my voice is strong enough, but I do feel like my tone of voice is what the book needs. So yes, I'm planning to narrate it.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. And like I said, your book is out all over the platforms as far as where to get it, where to buy it. Certainly go to your webpage, Carolyn Arnold. I'm sorry, is it CarolynLeeArnold.com for sure, so that you can at least see what you have to offer. Because if you're interested in this and like they're curious as to embarking on perhaps, their own happiness, I do believe that all of this is just a background for us to level up to what makes us happy, the most happy. And I think that, you wanted to be in a relationship and you wanted to be with someone who matched you. And like you said, since your Buddhist ceremony with your friend to let him go, which you gotta do to release that, the day you took a chance, or more than a chance, on yourself, and you made it fun. A story, and I believe that we're all narrators of our own story. How we tell it is really kind of, in your sense, this is perfect, a social research experiment, right? Yeah, it was great. Great. Here's saying, little by little, you reach the top of the mountain, land, but then before you beyond. It's so true, and go ahead.
Well, I agree. I just so appreciate you, Meg, because I feel like this is full circle to have started with you a year ago on your podcast. And it's still hitting me that I'm an author, that I have a book out. It's such a gratifying feeling that I actually did it. And often I have to stop and remind myself that I did it as I try to push for more book sales or more people to reach or something. I do feel proud of myself that I did it.
So
And I appreciate you celebrating, and people like you celebrating every step of the way, and the awards and every little milestone, to do that with my group, the cohort, the 2021 cohort. It's just been the whole thing has been so fulfilling. And you're right. I mean, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't enjoying it. And that's another tip for writing. You have to set it up so that you enjoy it. Also dating. Dating and writing are very similar.
It's so interesting because you wonder, like, what's life all about, right? What is it all about? Alfie, that's wonderful song.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what you just said is I know that we have ups and downs, but if you can find moments where you seek the joy, like you embrace the joy as it comes to you, curious about something that might not be comfortable for you, and then accept what you like and leave the rest. And
exactly.
Feel your joy. I do. The beautiful thing is you could get discouraged, and I'm not going to tell anybody how many days it took you to find, Mr. Right, or
it's okay. Actually, it was easier to find him than writing the book, but.
Well, I mean, he must, and I know that we've met him, so I'm sure he loves the fact that he's now captive in a book for the rest of his entire existence and beyond.
He calls it the best documented courtship ever.
There you go. Okay, well, there you go. You have your whoever wants to know how it was that you met each other and together, and you still have your adventures together. It's pretty exciting. I wanted to ask you specifically, what are your future plans now after, I know the memoir is coming up, you have the audiobook coming up, but as just Carolyn, the author behind
well, my life, I think my goal is what it's always been, was to have a balanced life, of work and play and love. And my work now, since I retired, luckily 2 years before I was published the book, is writing. And I love spending a lot of time on that. I mean, my plan is to keep promoting my book, keep writing the other one, however it comes out. I need to write it. And also enjoying life with my sweetie. We try to travel a lot. He luckily loves his work, and he loves to work too. So it's this balance of work and love and time for ourselves, each other, and then play, which we like to travel. We were just hiking in Sedona a week or two ago. So it's trying to balance all those things. And that's the goal.
So I wanted to ask you, so I know that you believe in manifesting, and I know that maybe what were the synchronistic signs around? Did you feel the bells going off when you met him? Did you feel
actually it was, I resisted a little. I wasn't quite, I didn't think he was right. I met him a few times. I thought, no. And then we met I don't think so. I'm not ready. He's not quite right. And because I was being very picky towards the end, I had a wide open net in the beginning, but then I was really laser focused on who would be the best person. Yeah. But then I kept running into him. It was like a sign. We kept running into each other at parties, and we were in semi-rotating social circles that sometimes met. And then one night we both realized we had this spark. We did have a spark, and I know you're not supposed to trust the spark. The spark is not always reliable, but we explored the spark, and
there you go. I love that.
Yeah. And so then this is all in the book. It took a while to realize, oh my God, he's the one I should explore and see, not be with, but let's see if he's the right one.
I love it.
So
sometimes the we wish for are right in front of us, and I think that. What a beautiful thing I do love about, the month of gratitude, November, is, now here we are. We're at the end of the month. We're embracing, whatever has come this past year. 2022 is about to bid us all adieu. 2023 is right around the corner. What is your wish for this December and onward?
Wow. Well, I just hope to keep being lucky enough to be in these groups of wonderful people who are moving forward in the world together. I mean, starting with my sweetie and then moving out to my friends here in the Bay Area and my writer friends all over the place. So I just feel like this expansion, of love and spirit and joy and manifesting. I feel like there's more to manifest, there's more to enjoy, and so I want to keep doing that. And so for the I'm kind of focused. Actually, I'm turning in a manuscript on January 6th. Bad date, but still. And then I'm going to relax a little bit. We're going to take a little trip.
Of January 6th for you. It's the El Dia de los Tres Magos, the Three Kings.
And thank you.
Yeah, so the Three Kings, and we always, and in my particular, I don't know if you remember in my book, but the day of the Three Kings, always something wonderful would happen.
Oh, wow.
Necessarily what we would think would be wonderful at the outset, but it will bring you gifts of abundance and myrrh. And I do believe that we can switch any kind of narrative. We can change it on whatever impetus, certainly that was a real coming to, when that happened of 2021. But for certain, we can always shift our perspective, which I love because, after reading your book, I have a real big appreciation for other people, the way they live their life. And, at the same time, I don't definitely resonate there, but I definitely love the conversation. And I have enjoyed so much admiring and sharing with everyone the person that is you. We believe it too. So I wanna leave today, and I want you to tell me, and I love this part. I never tell them in my notes, so I'm gonna ask them. So it's come from you. It's manifest. Okay. When people say, I read Carolyn Arnold, what do you want them to think about when they read your books or hear about you?
I want them to think I'm so inspired to get out there and find the person I want. If that's what they want, not everyone does, but if they want, I want them to say, I felt so inspired and supported in my journey, and I felt inspired to not settle for someone who's not right for me, and to enjoy myself and to value myself. I think what I really hope is that they say, here's a way to value myself and honor myself while I'm looking for a partner.
Beautiful.
And yeah.
I do want to add that you definitely are part of the pact out there, if there is one, of women at large or people at large who are looking to empower other people in their path for good. And and the mission of love and sharing that with others. So I want to thank you. I think you're absolutely beautiful and wonderful. And I definitely encourage everyone to go out there and get a copy, maybe get someone, if you're looking for a little open-mindedness, go with a open mind when you're reading this, and you'll come away with a different perspective, perhaps learning something more about yourself as you read. And I want to say, Carolyn, thank you so much. Books do change lives. Obviously, writing your book did change yours. You have a partner in crime now, and all of that to all of you. What's your final bit of inspiration you want to share with us?
Well, Meg, I just want to say how lucky I feel to know you. And there are people like you in the world who lift people up and bring us up even when you're not feeling great. You keep lifting other people and yourself. And so I would just recommend find the people, positive people in your life, and be with them. That's really the key. And find people who lift you up so that you can learn to lift yourself up.
That's beautiful.
And happy birthday, Meg. You are such a love for all of us, and I look forward to celebrating you.
I definitely am going into December with, oh my God, show me. Like I'm looking for the magic and miracles. I'm looking to be perhaps a magic or miracle for somebody else. And I think that with that respect, then you can't help but experience the magic of Christmas. So, and holidays, or whatever it is that you celebrate. So thank you. I receive all of it. Carolyn, absolutely a joy. I'm very grateful to you and all of you. Thank you very much, Linda. Love you all who have joined us. Thank you so much. I definitely want to remind everyone that books do in fact change lives. Great writing does stir emotions, makes you feel. We're here to feel, not walk numbly in our lives. We need to wake up to our vulnerability and our joy and to love. To that extent, we're truly changing the world. Authors like you are absolutely doing that. So bravo, Carolyn. Keep making a difference with your words and get us all to think, and let's all celebrate together. So inspire, yes. Love it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.
I will. Thank you, Meg. Thanks so much. So great to see you and be with you. I love this.
And I get to see you soon. So I'll see you soon.
Yes. See you soon.
All
Great.
right.
Okay.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.